Have you ever been so tired that you're damn near delusional?
I came out of smoke with a flame in my chest. Southwest sun sitting heavy on my neck. Every mile I rode carved the line in the map. Now the whole damn state know the legend is back.
You are now riding with Steelhorse, the legend of the Southwest. My plan to open up this video with bits and pieces of my day and loading and unloading and showing you how my day is going is a wash, and I am exhausted. Last night I planned on being in Amarillo at 10:30 p.m. so that I could deliver this morning bright and early in Amarillo and go on about my day to my next load. That did not work out because by 10:30 I was somewhere between Sweetwater and Lubbock. Reason why: we had 60 to 70 mile per hour wind gusts last night. Wind gusts, I drive an open deck trailer, so wind gusts and tarps do not mix whatsoever. So even with the smaller wind gusts throughout the day, I was dealing with having to pull over constantly, refix the tarp, redo the bungees, make sure the load was good, because you get the hum from the straps even underneath the bungees or even underneath the tarps. Having to make sure the straps were good and tighten back down. I had to take the edge protectors off and then use what is it called the padding. I had to use a whole nother padding in order to protect the straps from the product that I was hauling. But anyway, driving at 10:30 between Sweetwater and Lubbock, I got smacked with one of those 70 mile per hour wind gusts. Now what happened? Here was one bungee. That one's kind of warped. This one's also kind of warped. 2, 3 snatched right off. 4, a little off. 5, and 6. That one's good. And 7. What happens to bungees in 70 mile per hour winds? It is called shock loading, right? Wind gust causes what's called a shock load to the bungee. It's when it pulls the bungee past its regular strength and it just destroys it. I had to get out there, I had to catch that tarp, I had to make sure nobody else got hurt, I had to make sure I didn't get hurt, I had to make sure it didn't get blown into the middle of the highway, pulled off into the shoulder, got it to the passenger side, got the tarp to the passenger side, pinned it between the chains on the load, started undoing the rest of the bungees that was left on that load, shoved the tarp into the cab, drove to the closest exit that had a pilot, and I shut it down. What's the full point of this video? Shut it down. 1, be weather aware. 2, when it's giving you hints like you're pulling over maybe more often than you should for load checks, maybe that's a hint that, hey, I should just shut this down and wait this out. Had I known that the wind was going to pick up past 20-30 mile an hour gusts, which I've driven in before, to 60-70 mile per hour gusts, I would have pulled it over. Granted, it was, fairly easy to drive through those winds, but you're not supposed to drive through those winds. The first thing you learn coming to this company, the company that I'm at, is safety. Why risk it? Why risk it? Pulled over, I communicated with my dispatch, I let them know there's no way that I can move forward tonight. That load's just gonna have to be late. This weather is not allowing me to make it to where I gotta make it. I pulled over. So is every other trucker, with the exception of a handful of those super trucker and drive-in dudes that was out there. Dude driving with no daggone taillights on. Anyway, you know, don't push it. It's not worth it. It's really not. You don't want to end up hurting yourself or hurting anybody else. I had suffered, like, it's healing throughout the day, thankfully. But this is from me fighting a tarp. This was a way bigger blood blister. It's freaking, can't see it. But it's not as big as it was. The scratches here, the micro abrasions here are also starting to close up. I had some micro abrasions on my palms, the joints of my fingers, from where I had to like fight and yank that sucker back in. And at one point, I felt the wind whoosh and it hit my back, and it hit my back with force. And not only did it hit my back, it tried to lift the tarp, and I felt myself with the tarp. I was like, this is a wild. Like, any stronger, if it would have been one of those freak 100-mile-per-hour wind gusts, I would have been up in the air and across the highway. Possibly. All right, I don't play those games. But lesson learned. Go ahead and shut it down. There's nothing wrong with shutting it down. Nobody's gonna look at you crazy for shutting it down. In fact, by law, when the driving conditions are too dangerous and you gotta shut it down. You can't get punished for shutting it down. So that's the plan from here on out, right? For all of us. Are we all in agreement? When it gets crazy, we're going to shut it down. We'll all get to the money. We're going to have some good runs out here on these roads, these highways and byways, like some people like to say. But you've ridden with Steel Horse. That was a pleasant update from me about my how my week started. I did end out today on a high note. It got much easier. I had a preload. A quick dropping hook. Got it hooked up, dropped my old trailer, hooked up to the new one, kept it moving. Of course, I had to fix some things, and they don't ever get it perfect. You gotta go through and fix your load and make sure it's fully secured. Don't, trust but verify. Kept it moving. Got pulled over for the night, and now I'm kicking it with you guys. But yes, God bless. I hope you all have a really good night and day, and your bank accounts look amazing. I'm gonna go to bed.